Hello students, we are back again for the communication class. This is the second lecture. The first one was on meaning, definition and scope of communication. In that we defined communication as the process in which information, ideas, attitudes, emotions are conveyed from one person to another, and it is the sum total of all that a person does to create an understanding in the mind of another, and it is complete only when the sender understands fully what the receiver understands fully what the sender wants to say. Now, if you look at the table in front of you, communication process is concerned with sharing and understanding of information. So let's see how it works. Now, here is the sender. He has a message which he wants to convey. So he has to consider his audience. What would be the best way to encode his message? What symbols and signals should he use? Should he just make a phone call? Should he send a message? Should he send an email? What would be the best for him? So accordingly he will decide on the encoding. After that comes the channel: written, oral, verbal, and then the information, the message is sent to the receiver. When the message reaches the receiver, he tries to decode it to understand what the sender wants to convey. And whatever the level of his understanding, whether it is 100%, 75%, or he has some questions or some blank spaces, he gives his response. Response again has to be encoded, has to have a channel, and then it is conveyed back to the sender, who in this scenario becomes the receiver. This is something which we can also call feedback. So this is how the whole circle, the communication flow table works. Sender has a message, he encodes it, decides on a channel, reaches the receiver, who decodes it according to his understanding, gives his response, which is again encoded, goes through a channel, and reaches the receiver, who at this time is the sender cum receiver. So let's look at the technical terms now. Sender. The sender that we have been talking about, the communication process begins with that person or group who wants to transmit an idea or a message. That particular group or sender or person is the sender. Message is the physical form of the idea or information to be conveyed, and which is understood by the receiver through his 5 sensory organs of hearing, seeing, feeling, smelling and touching. Now this message is put into suitable words, symbols, gestures or other forms of expression according to the understanding and capability of the receiver. Channel or medium is the method or vehicle used to transmit the message. For business communication, commonly used channels are oral and written communication. Receiver is that person or group who perceives the message, understands the message in the brain and attaches the same meaning to the message as encoded by the sender. And this process is known as understanding. Feedback is the reversal of the communication process in which the receiver expresses his response in the form of affirmation, by asking questions, or by further further explanation. Thank you. So these were the various terms. Now I think it would be helpful if we can just have a look at the communication table again. So now that we have gone through the various terms, this would make more sense to you. Who the sender is, the person or group who wants to encode the message, then the physical form of the message, then the channel, the receiver who decodes it, understands it, gives his response through encoding and channel, and goes back to the receiver. This is how the whole cycle, the communication flow works. This is a very basic way of doing it, but if you try and connect it to your daily life, now this is the way we do it, whether we are talking or a lecture or written communication. This is the pattern which our communication follows. Thank you.